the human head. Now, you ready for the best part? Well, you gotta keep your tools clean. Now, most people at this point are asking about one question. That question quite simply is, why? My mother tells me the reason why I do this is I have screws loose upstairs. I don't necessarily agree with her, but I know better than to disagree with her. So I went on about 6 years ago and I got myself a screwdriver. I've been trying ever since to tighten them puppies up. I've come to one of two conclusions in the meantime. The first being the screws are straight. The second being they were never there to begin with. Strawberries. Now my reason for doing this is quite simple. I do this first and foremost for your sick pleasure, but also for your kind contributions to my student loan repayment fund. Okay, now that we've got something gross and disgusting, let's do some things a little bit incredibly dangerous.
Somewhere there. It's when pumps started at M Square. That's when I started busking in Pittsburgh. The first time I came out, first night I came out, I think in 4 hours I made $5.
And how long have you been?
About 10 years.
About 10 years.
I joined him a couple of years ago.
Okay. And what's your main? You do the fire eating?
The fire, balloons,
Dance.
storytelling, magic.
People ask us all the time, so what do you do during the week? And you know,
What's your real job?
What's your main job?
So how about we start off? Whee! Just right in there. So how about we start off with a leg shaving demonstration? Get your pants off, darling. Oh, all right. Leg standing. And you find they come out smooth as a baby's bottom. I know what you want to see. Oh wait, let me guess. You say just want to see that go in my mouth, right? Over the teeth, past the tongue, look out, stomach, here it comes. All for your sick pleasure.
When we're doing the fire, we have a game where we tie two people up. The object of the game is to free yourselves from one another without taking them off or damaging them. It's a great game. There's 4 ways out. You can quit, you can cheat, you can solve it, or you can throw us a 5 for the answer and we'll give you a free set to take home.
I'm jumping first. Wait a minute. He's tricking us. We're still stuck. Yeah, I know. She just wanted to watch you do it. Seriously? Seriously?
It's really hard.
Seriously.
If you're a musician, you can set up and play anywhere. That's one thing. But if you're a variety act or you're trying to do what we call a circle show, you've got to have people there willing to stop and stand. You've got to have the traffic flow going by. So you wind up working areas like Station Square, like Market Square, the first night, light up night. You wind up working these sorts of events. We do a lot primarily tied with festivals, but we're variety artists, so we're not musicians.
We've gotten a lot of feedback. People come up to us and say, oh, you're adding so much to this experience of being here, and they really like the idea. But there's also still another connotation that, you know, that equates busking with panhandling.
It's not just here, and I wouldn't say it's ignorance, it's just a cultural filter. I get it in Fort Lauderdale, I get it in Key West, I get it in New York, we get it in, everywhere we work. Whether it's busking or a Renaissance fair or a fringe festival or Spoleto Festival in Charleston, we get that. So what's your real job?
And so it's a lot of educating going on, you know, letting people know this, we are professional artists and this is our job.
I know a gentleman who was with the Pittsburgh Symphony several years ago, liked the acoustics in the Wood Street Station, would often go there just to practice. Now, of course, he left his case open, as most musicians do.
Right.
But he was just practicing, and somebody walked by and said, "Why don't you get a real job?" And he said, "I do. I'm first chair with the symphony."
On the balloons, we average about 75 cents a balloon. The balloons cost us 10 cents a piece. And when you figure we were doing 1,000 a weekend over the summer.
Well, right now we're working 4 to 6 days a week. Not only in Pittsburgh itself, but in and around Pittsburgh and around the country. We did 155 show dates in 25 states. Not all of those were busking, not all of them were street events. But yeah, we have over 200 dates on the calendar for this year alone. Even doing balloon sculpting, you can go out and spend 2 hours and make nothing. And you can go out and spend 2 hours and just look at the money in the hat and going, we do what for a living?
Up here. Repeat after me. Yeah? Sure? You betcha. All together now. Yeah, sure. You betcha. Okay, you passed the test. You're a Viking.
I don't see as many other performers out. But I think it's just because the program is still young. People are just starting to get into it. So hopefully within the next few years there'll be more and more people out.
And there's no specific, there's no set pitch yet. You go to Key West, you know you can go to Mallory for Sunset Festival, and there it's going to be. You go to Charleston, you know you can go to the Old Market House, and there are going to be buskers there. New York, you go to Central Park. So you know in certain areas there are places to work. The market in Boston, the harbor front in Baltimore. So when you have a set pitch that's established, then you see a lot more performers there, and you get other performers coming in. The fire gets a good reaction, the nail gets a good reaction, the shot glasses, the highball glass, everything's got its own crowd reaction. You know, it just depends, and it's the crowd itself. I mean, it's who you're working for. It's very bizarre being a performer, especially when you get to the caliber where we're at. And I don't say that conceited, just I know what we make a year, I know where we work, and I know the fact that I've walked into Fortune 500, Fortune 100 companies talking to the president of the company, and he talks to me as an equal. Now, I'm not making as much as he is, but the fact that he talks to me as an equal is just, it's a bizarre, I'm outside of society that way.
So if there was one thing that you could tell the masses about busking or about your art form, what would it be?
That we are artists.
Yeah.
We spend a lot of hours, a lot of time, not only developing the skill sets we use, but also developing the performances and what you see. We just didn't wake up one day and come out here to do this. A lot of thought, a lot of time.
There's a lot of design in our props and what we wear, and
a lot of thought goes into it, and this is how we make our living.
You learn from books, you learn from other balloon artists. Some of it's necessity. You're either going to find somebody who else who makes it already and learn how they do it, figure it out on your own.